Different story, right? Duro, very new support here in the LCK, playing for B&K yesterday. This is Beryl, who was probably one of our best Alistairs in a really long time in 2019. It's going to work out this time around as we get ready to jump onto the Rift. Whoever wins here is going to be going to match point. See who it's going to be. They are trying to hide it for as long as possible. As you can see here, Zeus just getting sliced on, and Deft is standing on a ward. I think he thinks that he's being tricky out the lane.
He's just hanging around, you know?
Yeah, the cow is just, he's out of the paddock and getting stuff done.
This is the danger, though, because I think swapping for KT is good. And I think it's big that Zeus wasn't aware, so it takes longer for him to do this. But Olaf is one of the most annoying champions to have invade your jungle level 1.
Ooh, now he's sort of realizing that he's going to have to get out of here. As, all right, we do have the back completed. And Zeus will pick up a lot of the farm underneath this turret, as we can see.
4v5. One thing to say, if they act now, it's an MF. She can get here pretty quickly as far as champions go.
Yep.
With a strut. But it's also Zeus without TP, so actually, sorry, it's a 4v4 still, and KT feeling confident on that. It's perfect level 6.
Yep, BDD also had control of the mid-wave, so able to get here first. Oh, the steal! That was pretty sexy. T1, I think, can possibly even just move away from this, but you can see Carrier looking aggressive. That's a flash out from Beryl. Mum does a lot of damage to T1. But it is going to be just these two grubs that are going to be taken away. Another one, Gumayushi perhaps? No, not going to happen this time. As, yeah, Perf just going to walk up and stun the Varus.
That's a crocodile.
Yeah, he's pretty scary. He does have Dominus up and available. Gumayushi without the Chains of Corrupt stacking up this wave. And they do have a lot of chain CC. Of course, Perfect will be able to just press Dominus and try to weather the storm, but this is... Yeah, this is real dangerous. I see what you did there. The ultimate has been precast, but there it is. I just don't know what he's going to be able to do here. He goes and has a nap, and that is going to be first blood going over to Ona. And meanwhile, underneath the turret here, Ragnarok has been popped, and Pyoshik has to flash. Deft not quite able to grab it quickly enough, but still going to be able to lock down the kill. So both top laners,
deal with, you know.
There is some killing some camps to take down. The Ragnarok, like you were talking about, still up and available. Let's see whether this can work in a 3v2, as there is the Ragnarok coming down. Bowling ball avoided, as Beryl is just dead. That's the watch out eat from Ona, as he is going to get pushed back there momentarily. And that dive just straight up didn't work.
Yeah, Beryl, so his thing is that Zeus isn't on the map right now, but he could be heading topside. KT don't know, so they have to kind of respect the fact that they don't have information on how many members.
It's a little bit annoying there for Ona to be able to catch up, and that is going to be that dragon taken down. But I think the trade here, not exactly fantastic for KT. As you can see, we're ballooning to above 2,000 gold, the lead for T1. We're not in as good of a position as he was in prior. As BDD wants to grab this cannon, will be able to do so, won't be able to stop the charge, but also Shelly's not really going to be able to get more than just a bit of damage onto this outer turret, so not the most consequential pieces on the map, just a bit better than what KT have been able to do so far.
Yeah, the side lane of pressure from the Azir and Olaf did a pretty good job, and Zeus has TP ready, he's out of vision if they want to move, and I think KT just giving this one up.
Yeah, it looks like this one's not going to be something that they can actually fight for. We'll have a look at what soul it is going to be. Mountain Soul to come in.
Good one.
Yep, either team going to be pretty happy about that.
And now looking to try and apply some pressure towards that mid-tier 1. Deft could just ult the wave, so I don't think they're going to commit too hard.
Yeah, allowing Zeus to run amok, or allowing Deft to find that big ulti, as Flash has to come out here as the Dominus has been popped. Perfect. Going down so incredibly low. Teleports coming in from everyone as Ona kind of creep blocked, and that is going to be somehow BDD picking up that kill.
Is going to be a problem, and has continued to be throughout the series, even the game they lost.
Oh, unfortunately caught backing there a little bit. Did have vision, but it was just not enough.
Later in life, I guess you're not going to...
Wow, BDD started up the dragon. He's not a member of the Dragon Preservation Society.
Or maybe he left, you know?
Oh, yeah, maybe he had to leave, because otherwise they were never going to be able to get the objective. Speaking of objectives, T1, they're just going to run over towards this Baron, and the dragon will be taken, but can there be any responses? Beryl just dives in there. All right, maybe that's the response. It's perfect, just pokes his head in, and then hops out again immediately, and KT have stopped the Baron.
You know, they're doing something, and like a glass will smash or something, and immediately everyone...
all the blood drains out of your face. It's like, please tell me that's not one of the good ones. Oh dear.
You know what? If the mum's that angry, it doesn't even matter if it's one of the good ones.
Yeah, that's very true, actually. You just have to be extremely careful. Speaking about being careful, KT carefully trying to assess whether this Baron is going to be taken down. That is going to be some vision given over. BDD going to be the one to answer the Olaf, as this farming is looking very satisfying, unless you're a T1 fan. As Pioshik, this is good news for T1 fans. Pioshik a little bit too far forward. Owner running very, very quickly. The bowling ball not quite going to connect, but Pioshik going to be sent packing here for now. I believe does have his Warmogs completed, so we'll be able to get that health back relatively soon.
Oh, not quite, actually. So.
Oh, doesn't actually have it built up. Man, been sitting on those components for a while.
So they will get vision with the Make It Rain. Beryl actually has no wards and isn't able to recall.
All right, he's going to have to flash to get himself out of the way of this one. Eats some Honey Fruit. Shattering Strike does not land, but Ona will be able to put him to sleep. Throws down the ulti, but had no health to back it up, and is still just able to walk it off. Never mind.
Yeah, he just lives, I guess.
Those hooves were made for walking. As now Pioshik looking for a bit of an angle. T1, I think they found it, though, as Chains of Corruption going to have to be flashed. But that's not even the main thing. They have so much control around this Baron area, as Beryl running back, hoofing it as fast as he can.
Okay, but Death can get vision with Make It Rain. That's all they have right now. They're just going to have to go for it.
Yeah, they're going to have to try and find an angle. Here's the Magnet Storm looking to try and keep them out of the pit. And Pioshik still gets in, but it's not going to be good enough. Look at this AoE damage, it's gigantic. But T1 are still just going to be able to get out of there with the purple buff in hand.
It's a successful heist, but it still feels weirdly... You know, it worked. They got the Baron, but BDD is still so strong. It still doesn't feel like a true victory right now.
Everything has just gone into BDD, and it's understandable. He's now got 4 items, and they're all really good items.
You know, this feels like an aiming smolder game.
Oh, it really does. I feel like we watched this yesterday. And aiming won a few of those games. So we can see that building up the smolder is certainly something that does work. But now it's T1's forte. This is where they get to utilize their control of the map. And you can see able to take down inner turret in the top lane. And it looks like Zeus will be able to protect this siege minion as well, getting to work in this mid lane. 4 grubs paying off as well.
Yeah, this is big, especially against a smolder. Baron pressures can be tricky just because you can shred the wave so effectively. But T1 keep pushing the gold advantage, but still feels dangerous.
And the thing is, 7 kills this game. Somehow, there's a 6,000 gold lead. As T1, they've started up the Dragon. Vision now given over to KT as teleport to come in. Let's see what can happen here as the Dragon does fly by, but it's just a little bit of damage onto Ona. They get the edge. Pioshik, they do manage to avoid the Chains of Corruption largely, but in goes Ona, he goes golden. Can they find the sleeps they're looking for? The flash out from BDD, but he's still gonna get taken down. And this is like what you were talking about, Orcs. Unfortunately, sometimes the little dragon just goes pop, and T1, they are just crushing KT with their wallets now. It's a little bit anticlimactic, but that is the way T1 are going to do it as they look to try and bring us to the next game with match point in hand. That's going to be the clean ace. And T1, I think, just marching up the mid lane.
BDD, he's got a QSS in his inventory, just bought it now, but it's too late. Ends up getting CC'd, ends up going down, and that Smolder, who felt like such a threat, goes down with a whimper. T1, the incremental advantages, apparently we're enough to win them this game.
They're going to make a little bit more proactive play there on the side of KT. I was praising them for their patience, but sometimes it's too much.
Position time, and that final fight just getting blown up. The damage numbers incredibly low across the board. You know, Ona being the most on 19,000 compared to like the previous game, just very lackluster in terms of how much damage, how much fighting, but T1 had a game plan.